Joao Pedro's story was never meant to be predictable. He was the type of player who slipped quietly into squads, worked hard in training, and did his talking on the pitch. Yet by 2025, he would be hailed as one of Chelsea's most surprising and transformative signings, a superstar who rose when few believed he could. Welcome back to Chelsea FC Chronicles. If you're joining us for the first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video. Also, drop a comment letting us know which country you're supporting Chelsea FC from. In today's video, we'll be discussing about how Joao Pedro's rise shocked the football world. Let's dive into the video. Born on September 26, 2001 in Ribeirão Preto, Brazil, Joao Pedro grew up with football in his veins. Streets turned into training grounds, dusty pitches became stages, and dreams of Europe grew with every goal he scored for Fluminense's youth sides. But unlike the sensational narratives of Neymar or Vinicius Jr., Joao Pedro's early rise was subtle. Scouts saw potential, excellent movement, quick feet, and composure in front of goal. But he was not heralded as the next global phenomenon. He was a player who would have to carve his path the hard way. His first major leap came in 2020, when Watford took a chance on him. The move raised eyebrows. Could a slender Brazilian forward handle the relentless pace and physical demands of English football? The Championship, after all, is a league that tests grit as much as technique. But Joao Pedro adapted with determination. He fought through bruising challenges, learned to play with his back to goal, and delivered moments of brilliance that kept Watford's faithful hopeful. While his talent was clear, the broader football world still saw him as a mid-table player at best. A skillful forward destined to shine in flashes but perhaps never consistently at the top level. Then came the twist that would change everything, a move to Brighton and Hove Albion in 2023. Brighton was the perfect incubator for his talent. Under a manager who prized possession, pressing, and fluid attacking rotations, Joao Pedro found the stage to evolve. The South Coast club had a reputation for turning promising players into stars, and Pedro became the next project. The transition was not immediate. His early performances showed promise but lacked a cutting edge. Yet, as the months passed, he grew in confidence. He began to glide past defenders with more ease, convert half chances with more precision, and contribute to Brighton's exciting, attack-minded style. Brighton fans quickly grew to adore him. He brought flair and energy, but also a willingness to chase down lost causes and work for the team. Pundits started to take note. "There's something about this lad," one commentator observed after Pedro scored a late winner against Newcastle. "He's got more in his locker than people realize." By the end of his Brighton spell, Chelsea were watching closely. Scouts had tracked his progress from Brazil to Watford, but now they saw a player ready for the highest level. One who had adapted to English football, learned tactical discipline, and proven himself against Premier League defenses. The transfer was sealed in the summer of 2025, a deal reportedly in the region of £60 million. Not a blockbuster fee by Chelsea standards, but a statement of belief. The reaction, however, was skeptical. Fans questioned whether he was Chelsea quality. With rumors of bigger names, João Felix returning, European strikers linked, and young prodigies emerging, Joao Pedro's arrival seemed underwhelming to some. Pundits called him a gamble, perhaps a backup option, but Enzo Maresca had other ideas. In his unveiling press conference, the Chelsea manager spoke with conviction. "Joao Pedro is a forward who reads the game, who knows when to create, when to score, and when to sacrifice for the team. He is not here to make up numbers. He is here to play still. Words are only as powerful as the performances that follow." And at first, Pedro's Chelsea career was quiet. He came off the bench, showed energy, pressed hard, but lacked a defining moment. Doubts resurfaced. Critics wondered if the step from Brighton to Chelsea was too great. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a tight Premier League fixture at Stamford Bridge, the kind of game where one chance could decide everything. Joao Pedro, introduced in the second half, collected the ball 25 yards out. With a swift turn and a flash of instinct, he curled a shot into the top corner, a goal of sheer brilliance. The stadium erupted. Commentators called it a statement strike. In that instant, the perception shifted. This was not a squad player. This was a difference maker. Confidence coursed through Pedro after that goal. He started the next match, then the next, and with each performance, his influence grew. His link-up play with Cole Palmer became electric. West of the win. Stamford Bridge roared his name. The media narrative flipped overnight. "From Brighton talent to Chelsea superstar," read one headline. Suddenly, Pedro was no longer a gamble. He was a revelation. What made his rise so special was not just the goals, though there were plenty. It was his work rate, pressing defenders, winning back possession, and creating space for others. It was his composure, never rushing chances, always calculating his next move. And above all, it was his belief, the quiet confidence that he belonged on football's biggest stage, no matter what anyone had said before. Behind the scenes, Pedro worked tirelessly. Coaches praised his dedication to extra finishing drills, his willingness to review match footage, and his hunger to improve positioning and timing. Teammates described him as humble but fiercely competitive, the kind of player who lifted training sessions just by demanding more from himself. By the season's midpoint, Pedro had scored double figures across competitions and registered key assists in European nights. He was no longer the surprise signing. He was Chelsea's spark, their unpredictable weapon, their rising star. Fans who once questioned his signing now debated whether he could become a club legend. Comparisons to past greats, Gianfranco Zola, Didier Drogba, felt premature but not absurd. As Chelsea pushed toward European qualification, Pedro's influence only grew. Whether it was a poacher's finish, a clever through ball, or a lung-busting press that forced errors, he was everywhere. Opposition defenders dreaded facing him, unsure whether he would drift wide, drop deep, or dart in behind. Analysts praised his versatility and instinctive understanding of Maresca's tactical rotations. Now, with Brazil scouts circling ahead of the 2026 World Cup, the question is no longer whether Joao Pedro can handle the spotlight. It is whether he can stay in it, not as a player fighting to prove himself, but as one expected to lead. And perhaps that is what makes his story so compelling. From the dusty pitches of Ribeirão Preto, to the grit of Watford, to the freedom of Brighton, and finally to the grand stage of Stamford Bridge, Joao Pedro has traveled a road defined by resilience. He has faced doubt at every turn and answered it with performances that speak louder than any critic. But here's the question. Do you believe Joao Pedro has what it takes to become a true Chelsea legend, like Drogba and Zola? Or is this just the beginning of a short-lived rise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The debate starts now.